What is up with it? Today we are back. A little bit more of OP12. You know, ban list is coming out like maybe 12 hours from now, something, or maybe longer than that, like 16 hours from now. It don't matter. But gonna be playing some blue Kuzan versus some red Rayleigh. Thank you all so much to everyone who gave me the support in the last video. Got a ton of really nice comments that really meant a lot to me. Thank you so much, everyone. But here we're gonna be playing some Kuzan, and I got also a lot of comments that were like, "Hey, what are you gonna play? What are you gonna play?" Bro, I don't even know. I've been changing everything. I've played every deck under the sun on ladder recently. I've had people, you know, I play them and they're like, "Yo, are you the real OPTCG grinder?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Yo, you're playing this now?" And I was like, "For this stretch of 10 games, I am." But we're going to be running Kuzan. Going to be winning the die roll and choosing to go second. And choosing to keep a hand of Sengoku, Virgo, Garp, Pudding, and Tashigi. Having the Tashigi will be really nice to be able to swing into their one drop without countering, without like having to use my leader swing. And then the Sengoku is just one of the best searchers in the game, honestly. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm actually a pretty big fan of this Kuzan deck. Not exactly sure how strong it is yet. Gonna go ahead and grab this ice block. Not exactly sure how strong it is. Definitely has some problems, but super consistent and a lot of fun. You guys might not know this about me. Maybe you do. One of my favorite things in the entire world is drawing cards. I love drawing cards. I think we can go ahead and, yeah, just give up the Virgo here. It's possible that maybe we will end up missing with the Sengoku and not have a play for 6. So maybe we're not supposed to counter with the Virgo there. Maybe we're supposed to give up, maybe the Pudding instead might have been a little bit better, I think. Here, I think now we're kind of forced to, yeah, disaster has struck. Disaster has struck. Definitely should have kept the Virgo in hand, I think. We can go ahead and grab this blocker though. And then like next turn we can maybe do like some Pudding plus blocker shenanigans. Hopefully he plays a searcher here rather than a Sanji. All right, well, disaster has struck. We're gonna need him to counter. Definitely a misplay there. I think I just, okay, and also just gonna give up the Pudding. So I'm not exactly sure what the play this next turn is. I guess it's gonna be Zephyr. Seems not great. And Sengoku is not a slash type, thankfully, so can swing over Buggy. Make sure when you guys are playing, make sure you're careful about your types. We can go 3 into 3 again, I think, because we're really only going to be using 5 Dawn this turn. Or we could use that Dawn for a Tashigi. I don't really see a reason to use it for the Tashigi, though. I guess we could leave that Dawn for an ice block. Okay, gonna go ahead and play the Tashigi. I don't know how thrilled I am with this. I think I would have liked to just swing 3 again. Oh, never mind. Tashigi is slash. Never mind. I was literally telling y'all, don't forget. And then here I am forgetting. Because 3 cost green Tashigi is not slash, but 1 cost purple Tashigi is slash. Explain this to me, chat. Explain this to me. All right. 5 cost smoker, green smoker, is slash type. But 3 cost Tashigi, which is smoker holding a sword, is not slash type. I don't know. That, hey, we'll leave it there. Anyways, gonna go ahead and play the Zephyr. And we're gonna go ahead and, ooh, okay. And we're actually not gonna pop it. What this is going to allow us to do is it means that next turn we're going to be able to swing it and then bounce it. For those of you who don't know what Zephyr does, you can trash itself to bounce one of your opponent's 5 or less. Gonna go 5 at 3. I feel like we are elated that the Rayleigh opponent decided to spend a swing there instead of into our life. I'm not exactly sure what made this Rayleigh player prefer that. We're going to go ahead and Mulligan, KOing the Zephyr. So basically by doing that, they're trading a card in their hand for a body that would have swung and bounced a Luffy. So basically they're just using that. They're using a brick as a 1K, and they're using a card in their hand to save the 4 Dawn for next turn. They won't have to spend that 4 Dawn on the Luffy. Is that a good trade? I'm not sure. It kind of depends on the context of their hand. If their Luffy had something... Ooh, you love to see it. We should definitely bottom deck this Shanks 100 times. We could also bottom deck the Luffy. The Shanks is much easier to swing over. But I like bottom decking the Shanks. Or not the Shanks. The Sanji. Because now there's no rested Dawn. So now we get to swing over this with the greatest of ease. And he's going to go ahead and save it. And that's completely fine for us because we're going to be playing Kuzan anyways. Which is going to prevent this from swinging. And we'll go ahead and draw. We do have a problem though where we are at 1 life. So there's not really anything from the opponent just doming us big twice. You know, it's a strategy that Rayleigh is able to do really well, which is go wide and like ping, 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 ping. And then once they have you at 1 life, they just dome you. And they're like, hey man, I'm sending it's not even a 15k perfume femur. It's a 17, 19. I personally, while playing Rayleigh, I've had times where I got it up to like 24. Like 24k. Big swing. All right. I think this is definitely a misplay from the opponent. Maybe they don't have the femur. I'm not exactly sure, but if they do, okay. If you're going to do it like this, it's a little bit better. It's a little bit better for sure. It's a little bit better. This is actually a lot more reasonable. I was hating for no reason. I actually like 7-10 a lot. Because the thing that this does, rather than just going big number, like it's pretty hard for me to counter out of a 7 and a 10. But once you do that, what you do is you make it so that way I have to commit. I have to give you 2 cards. Oh, okay. So just ignoring this Kid and Killer. Okay, because we're going to Gravity Blade and we're trying to set them up for a lethal shot next turn. Okay. I see the vision. And we do have triple ice blocks, so we should never die here. If the opponent is wise and starts with a 5, then they do have a good shot. I mean, they will take a 2k out of our hand if they start with a 5, which I think they should do. Really, actually, I think they should start with a 7, because 7 plays really well into ice blocks, where when you do this just plays into triple ice block like crazy, right? Because that brings us up to 13. Yeah, I would have really liked to see a 7 and what would that be? 7-14, I think. Because that's a 4. Yeah, I think that's 7 and 14 is what the numbers would have been. Here, we have no blockers. They ain't even have to use the unblockable spell. So here we have to go for game. We can ladder a bit here, go 8, 9, 14 if we want. Or we do have these 2 Tashigis we can incorporate if the opponent decides to counter out. No, Not 100% sure that 9 is the correct number here. I bet it's actually 10. Opponent also, if you have 2 Conqueror's Hockey in your hand, definitely should have left a Dawn up. Feels like you never die here if you leave up a Dawn. We're here. Now we have some 7-9 angles. And if you counter this 7, we still have 5-6. Should probably go 5 with the Tashigi here. Play around King Kong gun trigger, but we get there. We get there. It's kind of crazy we got there. Absolutely never should have got there. The opponent decided to swing a 17. Knowing they have Conqueror's Hockey in hand, really I think what their swing should have been is it should have been 7 and 13. 7 and 13 plays really well. It takes 2-1 Ice Block 1K, which is 2-1 Ice Block 1K. That's 5 cards. You're taking 5 cards out of my hand. You're probably not killing. But if I'm leaving 3 Dawn up and you know I've searched an Ice Block and I've cycled and I've searched so much, I'm probably not dying to a 17k anyways. So what you do is you just try and set up for a lethal the following turn. You just try to strip my hand, make sure you can't die, and survive. But I think definitely this was a game for Rayleigh to win. Definitely some mistakes that we saw them make. I think maybe some mistakes that I made too. I think probably the game would have maybe been a bit easier if I had kept the what's his name? The 5 cost in my hand instead of pitching it that one turn. But to be fair, the thing that I played instead got mulgunned anyways. So maybe that didn't make a difference actually. We couldn't have swung with the Tashigi that one turn. That was the other option that we had. Maybe what we were supposed to do is we could have, if we kept this Sokka, I think keeping the Sokka was only good though if we knew that the Red Rock trigger was gonna hit. But maybe you keep it just for the optionality. I'm not sure. Because like if we had kept this, then we hit the Red Rock trigger, we get to bottom deck this, we swing over the Sanji, and then we don't have to play the Kuzan anymore, and then this draws us 2 cards. And is bigger, right? It's gonna give us an attached Dawn every turn too. So maybe if we had just kept this in hand, the game would have been a little bit easier. Our lethal lines for sure would have been a little bit better. All right. Well, anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Appreciate all the positive feedback that I got on yesterday's video. Happy to be back, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.